Okay, hello everyone. I'm Karen Scatina. I'm the director of the Child and Family Health Institute, and we've just been giving everyone time to get logged in. Feel free to go ahead and introduce yourselves through the chat function. We want to make sure that we have everyone added to our collaborative series distribution list. We did use a registration procedure for the webinar today, so we do have contact information, but I think it would be nice for our speaker, Julie Shoemaker, if everybody could kind of introduce themselves in the chat. Welcome, Julie, and thank you. I'll go ahead and get started with just some kind of housekeeping information. So this is our second webinar as the Child and Family Health Institute collaborative series. This series builds on the MCH collaborative that Claudia Kozinitz organized, and she was a member of our founding working group for the CFHI and asked us to carry on in that tradition. So we had Dr. Allison Krause present last month, and I see she's joined us today. She was our inaugural speaker, and we're really thankful that Julie Shoemaker is here today to talk to us about supporting new moms and nurse-family partnership. The Child and Family Health Institute is also new. It was established in March of this year, and its mission is to promote research, education, service, program development, and advocacy to help address and understand the needs of children and family through interprofessional disciplinary collaboration. So again, those housekeeping items, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. And also feel free to ask questions or make comments in the chat during the presentation. We do want this to be as interactive as possible for those of you who participated in the MCH Collaborative. Those were, of course, in-person meetings, and there was time for discussion where we want to kind of recreate that feel in a virtual environment. So feel free to put questions or comments in the chat at any time. And we are planning to have time at the end of Julie's comments for plenty of discussion. And also, Katie will be recording Julie's presentation, so I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. And then two, I think, again, to make it as interactive as possible, we invite you to leave your cameras on, but we also recognize that we're all working in kind of unusual times. Many of us are Zooming in from off campus, and that may not always be possible. I had to turn my camera off a minute ago to deal with the barking dog, so we completely understand that we all are in different circumstances right now. So Julie Shoemaker joined the Northeast Tennessee Nurse Family Partnership actually as a nurse home visitor in July of 2017. She went on to accept the role of interim director for Nurse Family Partnership in November of last year, and then became full-time director of Nurse Family Partnership in August of 2020. She is actually a graduate of ETSU with a Bachelor of Science in Education. She initially worked as an early childhood educator, then went back for a second degree, a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, that she obtained in 2015. In the past, she's worked on the medical surgical floor at Indian Path. She's also worked in the labor and delivery unit at IPCH. and really seem to enjoy working with moms and babies. And so I think is a great fit for Nurse Family Partnership, and we're fortunate to have her here at ETSU. She's actually a native to East Tennessee and grew up in the Bristol area, and has a daughter who is about to turn 8 and who she says is full of spunk. I thought that was cute. So again, welcome, Julie, and thank you for being our speaker today. We'll turn it over to you.
We can't hear you, Julie.
There we go. That's because I muted myself. If only my husband had that option, he would enjoy that, I'm sure. Thank you. I was just saying, Karen, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate you all inviting me today and giving us this opportunity just to talk a little bit more about Nurse Family Partnership. And we're very excited. So Katie has told me I have about 4 hours of your time. Is that right? So we'll have a round discussion and it will be really good. I'm just kidding. It'll take probably about 30 minutes of your time. So like Karen said, just I know you all are working from home and doing things. I had to put the dog away just a few minutes ago, so I'm hoping she doesn't bark if the mailman comes by. I know some of you have children at home. Feel free to walk away from the computer. I'm sure you'll still be able to hear me. And just be relaxed for the next 30 minutes. But yes, so thank you again. And just want to say that I am excited about sharing Nurse Family Partnership with you. As people were joining in, I noticed several names that I knew. So some of you all know about us, and some people I recognized and some people I didn't. And so I'm really excited just to tell you a little bit about Nurse Family Partnership, who we are, who we serve, and just really how we empower women in our area and just to be the best moms that they can be and be, you know, the extreme wonderful people that they are in their families. So the first question is just, a lot of times people say, well, what is Nurse Family Partnership? Well, for presentation purposes, we put this up here. This Nurse Family Partnership is an evidence-based program in the community health program, and it's been here for over 40 years. It's evidence and showing significant improvements in health and the lives of first-time moms and their children living in poverty. So a lot of big words, really just to say a program for the first-time mom, really to make changes in her life. It's really, in short, just a program that empowers moms to set the goals that they have for their lives. Goals such as, you know, maybe wanting to find a place to stay, and maybe they're living with parents right now and they're wanting to get out on their own. And maybe a goal of what is going to happen during my delivery. I know as a first-time mom, that was probably the biggest thing that I was worried about. Once they said that I was pregnant, I was like, oh my gosh, like, what is going to happen during this time? And some moms come to us with, you know, I want to breastfeed, or, you know, just for a week or a month or whatever. And so they set goals, you name it, we have probably heard it. And so many times we look at our moms and we realize that this is just a magic time in their lives. And Dr. Olds has stated that this is the magic window. There's a magic window during pregnancy, and it's just a time when the desire to be a good mother and raise a healthy, happy child creates motivation to overcome incredible obstacles, including poverty, instability, or abuse, with the help of a well-trained nurse. So many moms find themselves in this stage, and when they're expecting their new babies, and like I said, you name it, our nurses have heard it. And they come to us and they say, I wish I could stop this, or I wish I could start this. I wish I knew more about this. And new moms want to make their lives, their homes, their worlds a better place for the new baby that they're bringing home. And so that's why we call it a magic window, because it's a time like no other. And I want to make changes in my life, but I can tell you that when I found out I was pregnant, that is when I really stepped up my game and made sure that I was making those changes. And we all make changes on New Year's resolutions, and I'm sure we all made those nice 2020 ones, but as the things started to change around us, we kind of slacked off and put those to the side and weren't as worried about those changes as we would have been if there was another human coming into our lives that we had to change for. And so that's why we this is just such a magical time, I think. And these moms come to us with all these changes that they want to make, and we realize that, you know, they are the ones that are best equipped to make those changes. And when I go out into a visit, I know what I want to make a good mom. You know, like Karen said, I have an 8-year-old, so I know what I want to do to be her best mom. But being her best mom is not someone else's best mom. And so we realize that these moms are the best ones equipped to make the changes for their own lives. I don't know anything about this mom's life that I'm meeting for the first time, and she doesn't know anything about mine. So for me to go in and say, I think you're going to be the best mom if you do this, 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 and this, you know, that's an automatic turnoff. And so we realize that she is the best one to empower herself and to become more competent and to become more confident as a parent. And so we really want to sit down and listen to those moms and really find out what she's wanting. Our program is evidence-based and it is delivered in just the most critical time, I feel like, for mom and for baby. And it is the time during this magic window, because we know that if mom can make just a small change, and we say this all the time, just a small change, you know, if mom wants to quit smoking and she's smoking 20 cigarettes a day, if we can stop, you know, down to 19 cigarettes a day, just a small change, not give up the whole pack. We realize that that impacts her life in miraculous ways. We know that that will not only change her life, but it changes her family's life. It changes her community, which changes zip codes and states, and really, honestly, our country. And so we can really just break the chain of poverty and break the chains of just, you know, overwhelming parenting by making that small change, and no matter what it is. And so I want to take the time to show you all just a little bit about NFP, and I'm going to try to do this video. I have to stop for just a few minutes on the share and kind of find it in a different way. Zoom has been a little bit tricky this morning for some reason. And so I'm going to share with you a video, but just kind of in a little different way, if you can just bear with me. And let me know, Katie, if you can hear this or not when I hit play.
When I found that I was pregnant, it was the summer before 12th grade. I was so scared. It was really difficult.
Did anybody else's sound just stop?
Yeah, I could hear it at first, and then the sound just cut out. Not sure why.
And that I was pregnant, it was the summer before 12th grade. I was so scared. It was really difficult not having my mom, my dad. As an immigrant, I didn't know how things were working here. I was at rock bottom, and I found out I was pregnant. I want better for myself and better for my life and his life.
Prenatal and infant and toddler development may be the most opportune time to make lifelong effects on human development and health.
Nurse Family Partnerships intervention offers a multi-generational effect. Strong moms raise strong children become strong parents. With Nurse Family Partnership, we support families in meeting their health and wellness goals for their physical health, but also what it means to be a healthy family.
When a mom has confidence in herself and her abilities, she's going to translate that down to her child. It's going to allow her to work with her child throughout many years as they deal with other challenges that they're going to come up against. When you talk with our moms, most often they have challenges such as homelessness, addiction, they're socially isolated, and that's where Nurse Family Partnership comes in.
No solamente la palabra, sino en dos idiomas. I feel like I'm the support for them, that they're learning themselves, and it's amazing how they learn that they have the power, that they're powerful. I was in a very bad spot when I found out I was pregnant. I was getting high. I was very nervous, scared. And then I finally sat down and thought, and I went to John Brooks Recovery Center and I got put on methadone.
It's very common when somebody's going through addiction to have some type of trauma, something that happened in their life that they are trying to cover their pain with their addiction. So I helped her with resources to start counseling.
Dawn helped me with everything, learning how to take care of his needs and take care of mine at the same time.
James is a very happy, alert baby. His development is right on track. Now he's already attempting to try to crawl. He's a gorgeous baby.
Katie has helped me with a lot, and I think she might be my biggest supporter, honestly. With Vicky, I feel she replaced not having a family. She feels like family. She is family now. She's always there. It's not just for the nurse part. She's there for everything. I can't imagine having done all of this without having been in the program.
We see long-term effects of the intervention on outcomes that are of unquestionable public health and social importance. Since 1996, we've reached over 269,000 families. If you can change a family, you know you can change a community.
We're at this point right now where we have the opportunity to really scale up based on 40 years of success. We're going to reach the scale and going to make a real impact in this country.
I want to just be the best mother I can be. I know there's going to be challenges, but I'm okay and ready for that.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. So I wanted just to share that video with you all, and just so that you can really get a better picture of what NFP is, and without hearing just one person talk. I think that is a wonderful video that shows not only the nurse aspect of it, but the impact of our families that we have. So many of our moms say, she's always there. She's always willing to help. She's always willing to listen. I couldn't have done it without her, and they can, and they do. But Nurse Family Partnership creates a bond and a relationship with these girls that they've never had before. And they've never had someone that they can depend on, and that will pick up the phone, that will, when they say, I'll be there at 1 o'clock on a Tuesday, they're there at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. If they say, I'm, going to bring you diapers next week, they bring diapers. They've never had that in their lives. And a lot of women, I think, a lot of girls, they have babies looking for that relationship, looking for that love that they don't have anywhere else in their lives. And so Nurse Family Partnership comes in and just shows them what a stable relationship looks like, what a reliable relationship looks like, and shows them that they can be part of that. And they can give that to their child. They can give that to a boyfriend or a spouse. They can give that to their mom, because if they see what a relationship looks like and they have an idea of how that is supposed to be. And I have such a heart for our clients and the things that they're going through. And I just wanted to give you a glimpse into that with some of the other nurses as well. So a few of our key goals that we really try to reach with each mom is improving pregnancy outcomes. So that could be that, like I said before, maybe she's on some kind of substance, maybe she's smoking, maybe she's on Subutex, maybe she's on methadone. It could be any of those things. And we realize that, that is not going to be the best thing for her. That's not going to be the best thing for the child. And let's see what kind of goals can we set for you in your life just to change that for you to make a better tomorrow. We talk about low birth weights and realizing that what we put in our body actually does get to our child, and it does affect that pregnancy outcome. And so many moms don't realize that. Even when you're just talking about diet, everyday eating, those things can impact your baby, even in the first trimester. And so moms don't realize that, and we go in and we educate on that. Improving child health and development. We're talking about, is that child on track where that child needs to be? Are they reaching the ages and the stages that they should be at the appropriate times? And the nurses do a wonderful job on both of these goals. They go out, they check weights, they check blood pressures, they check temperatures right now, as everyone is doing. They go out and they check the height of the baby and the weight of the baby and where is this child at developmentally. And so that is like no other program that I have ever been a part of. And that we are so involved that we're getting in there and we're giving them data right away and showing them, yes, this is where your child is at. This is where your child should be. Let's talk to the pediatrician. Let's get in, another resource. Let's call early intervention if we need to. And that stable partnership that we have with our moms really comes in handy here. Because if someone comes in and tells me that my child is not where they need to be, my first reaction is kind of like, oh gosh, like what have I done wrong? Why are you telling me that, I'm a bad parent? And when you get involved with these moms and they see that you're there to empower them and to help them, they trust you and you become the know-all for them. And so they rely on you for this information, and they really believe that we can make a difference if we go to this next resource, or if we go to the doctor like we're supposed to, if we get our vaccines like we're supposed to. And so that again, that stable relationship plays so big on our goals that we're reaching. Improving economic self-sufficiency for our family. That can be, maybe I've got a 16-year-old mom come in and she's still in high school. Maybe we need to finish out our high school degree, or maybe she's dropped out of high school because she's pregnant and, we need to get a GED, or, we need to go to college. We need to get some kind of part-time job or a full-time job. Again, it's just looking at what mom wants for her life and educating on what we feel like would be best for mom and for baby, and helping her reach that goal. So as we realize that, and the mom is the expert on her life and on what she wants to happen in her life, we realize that the nurses are really the experts on the model. We have a wonderful team in Northeast Tennessee. I feel like we are trained in OB, pediatrics, mental health, and so much more. And NFP itself trains us on so many different ways to educate our moms and our families. And so they are the experts that are going out every single day and seeing these moms in their homes and talking to these babies and working through that relationship. And it's intense, and it's from pregnancy to the baby's second birthday. And so what we try to do is we try to see them weekly or bi-weekly, and depending on mom's schedule, and we want to follow them until the baby's 2. So that's roughly around 1,000 days. I hope you all do not hear my dog. Please tell me if you do, though. She's heard and realized that I am at home and not happy right now. So the first 1,000 days, though, is really the most important. I don't know how much that you yourselves know about early childhood, but in the first 1,000 days, so many connections are made in the brain that are not made as we get older. And the brain growth in the first 2 years is phenomenal. And so early experiences really influence that brain development and what actually happens in the lifetime. And toxic effects of chronic stress can affect that as well. So when we have a client that is in a bad relationship with intimate partner violence, or they are in a drug abuse situation or things like that, that is going to affect that child as well. And so we really want to look at that and see what's happening there. We're all trained on ACEs, as I'm sure many of you all are. And in early childhood, research on the biology of the stress shows that major adversity, such as poverty and abuse and neglect, can actually weaken the development of the brain and permanently set the body's stress responses on just high alert. And so we really want to look at that and really talk to that mom and educate that mom on those things and work on setting goals to prevent this. And so again, it goes back to that stable, caring relationship and developing that with mom, so that we are able to share these things with her, and she's able to trust us to set goals to make changes in her life. So our vision for NFP is just a future where all children are healthy and families thrive, communities prosper, and the cycle of poverty is broken. And so what happens in early childhood, as I said, it matters for a lifetime. And so we want to make sure that we are discussing that with mom, and that we are working through that with our goal setting and different things, like our different approaches that we make. And if you can just imagine for a minute a future where families are thriving and our communities are prospering and poverty is broken. I mean, these are all things that our nation is talking about right now. And if you can imagine just a better tomorrow, what that would look like, that is what NFP's goal is. And what we're doing is really trying to reach that one family at a time. If we try to go out and just start in a large community and bring everybody on board at one time, that's more than any of us can do. But if we can start, like I said, only a small change matters. If we can start with one family and that family changes, and they take those changes and they make changes for the next day in their community, then that change just starts building, and you really do get a better world. And that's what we're all talking about right now. And so I think NFP, even though it was 40 years ago when they started all this, they were really, they were on the right track for tomorrow. And I think that they do it in such a wonderful way, in an evidence-based way, to bring such an amazing challenging thing really to life for our moms. So speaking of our moms, I want to share one more quick video with you all, because I just think it's so important for you to see what our moms really are doing, what it looks like there. And Jennifer comes to us from North Carolina, and she found out she was pregnant at 18, and she stayed with the program through the 2 years with her nurse, Veronica. And her story, it really does amaze me, and just all the different things, the components that we have there in her story. If you can just give me 1 second. Here we are.
Found out I was pregnant at 18. Once I found out I was really like pregnant, this is really gonna happen. I was like, did I make a mistake? I was going to the OBGYN clinic, and the Nurse Family Partnership office was in the same building, and they had this lady come sit down and talk with me.
When you get pregnant, at first there's that feeling of, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is my first baby. And we go in and we give them the education. We give them the tools that they'll need, from pregnancy to labor and delivery to after they have the baby, all the way up until the child is 2 years old.
They push you like nobody has ever pushed anybody. And they're always there.
They really start to establish that relationship with you, and they trust you, and they believe in themselves. They start to believe in themselves and know that they can do it.
I have an associate's degree in applied health science, and the major is medical assisting. As soon as I get done with my clinicals, I'll have a job wait for me.
It's going to be difficult, because not only did she gain a friend, I did too.
And sometimes on our visits, me and Veronica would just sit and have like one-on-one conversations about what's going on and what can I do to fix it. And then sometimes on visits, Veronica would just like forget it and just let's talk about something else.
You know, I always say, you plant the seed and you wait for it to grow. You fertilize it and you wait for it to grow. That's what Nurse Family Partnership is about. And I am just glad that I was a part of Jennifer's life to be able to take that walk with her.
I just want to tell Nurse Family Partnership, thank you from the bottom of my heart for every minute you took out of your day to spend with me and my son to make our life better. There is no way that they know how much they helped me and how much I am so thankful for them. And I know that it's changed not my life, but my son's life for the better.
So I don't think Jennifer could tell us in a better way. I just love her little story and love seeing her little boy there, and just seeing how Nurse Family Partner has really changed the outcome of her life, and where she would have been versus where she is now. I think that is just an amazing story. So if you're thinking, what are the guidelines to actually give you all clients, I wanted to go over that. I think anytime that we talk about Nurse Family Partnership, people start thinking, oh, I wish I had this when I was pregnant, or, so-and-so I know is pregnant, wonder if she would qualify. And so I just want to go over that with you. It is for the first time mom. And the reason being, a lot of people ask, why is it for the first time and not multi pregnancies? But the reason is because what we talked about earlier, that window of change. First time moms they don't know any better. for the lack of better word, they are ready for change, and they have no idea what is coming. As a mom, when you start having that second, that third, that fourth baby, you start getting more confident in yourself, and you realize, oh, I got this. I don't need a nurse to tell me, what's going to happen at delivery. I know how to breastfeed, or I know how to bottle feed. And so Dr. Olds realized that the first time mom is really more apt to join a program like this and receive assistance than a multi mom would be. And under that, you see, has not parented a child more than 30 days. And I just kind of want to talk to you about that for just a minute. That just means maybe she's had a miscarriage, or she's had a fetal demise, and she's, on her second or her third pregnancy. We can take that. That doesn't mean that we wouldn't be able to assist her. Or if she's actually delivered her baby, and we've had some that have lost custody of their first or their second babies in the hospital. They went home with a family member instead of coming home with that mom. So that mom had lost custody in the first 30 days. We will be able to accept that mom as well. So I think that is really important to know. And we do ask that we receive the referral during the first or the second trimester. And so that means that mom is less than 28 weeks gestation. And the reason being is because that number one goal that we set for improving pregnancy outcomes, if you send me a referral at 37 weeks, then I have less than 3 weeks to improve those pregnancy outcomes. And that's really you just can't do that. And so we ask that we get those during the first or the second trimester. And lastly, low income. The easiest way to remember this is if they qualify for WIC, they will qualify for Nurse Family Partnership. So once we get the referral, we do set up an enrollment, and we like to enroll them, like I said, before the third trimester. And then we start setting up visits with them, and we want to do that on a every other week basis during pregnancy. Then during postpartum, we go to weekly visits because we realize that is just a very challenging time for mom and baby. And then during infancy and toddlerhood, we go back to every other week. The opportunities that Nurse Family Partnerships brings is community partners just like yourselves. We get to network with you all and find out what's happening in the community and what is best for our moms. When we start reaching out and finding that maybe we know someone over at Strongwill, or we know somebody at Mom Power, or we know somebody at Hope House, or whatever. And we think, well, this would be a really good fit for you. And they may not hear about it if they were not in a program already. And so I think that is a wonderful chance for them to learn how to network as well in their own communities. Last but not least, we know we all have to talk about COVID-19 right now, and COVID-19 has thrown us all a curveball. And so what we're doing, I just wanted to touch base because everybody wants to know, well, if you're an in-home program, what are you doing during COVID-19? And so, of course, we are doing telehealth, like so many. We use the computer for Zoom sessions, and we get on the phone and talk with them. We text with them. And just recently, at the beginning of October, when numbers were going down, unfortunately, they're going back up now. But at the beginning, we started going back in and seeing our very high-risk moms that are showing, the most need right now. And so what we are doing is encouraging front porch visits or encouraging park visits while the weather will allow, and just, keeping our social distance, wearing our mask, and keeping hand sanitizer in our cars while we, when we can, washing our hands when we can. And we take temperatures, as you've seen at many events. We encourage our moms to wear a mask when we're there, and just staying our 6 feet if that is possible with a toddler. And so it looks a little bit different, but we're learning new ways to do things, just like every program is right now. And so I encourage you, even during this time of the pandemic, to still call in and give us a referral, because that we're still going strong, and we're actually picking up on referrals right now, because people are realizing that, I need more, outreaches. I need more ways to help me with the problems that I'm facing. And so even though COVID-19 is not the best situation for all of us, it definitely has brought some new ways of thinking and some better things for all of us, just like the Zoom meeting today. I think it's just opened doors to more creativity. And that is Nurse Family Partnership really in a nutshell. And so I want to open the floor up for questions. I don't believe that I have seen any in the chat, but I'll pull that up. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see any in the chat right now, but yeah, we can open it up to any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much, Julie. There were so many things that I loved about your presentation. This is an evidence-based program, and Julie did send us some information about Nurse Family Partnership in the form of handouts that Katie will send to everyone after the presentation today. You're addressing and helping to meet families' needs at a very critical time of growth and development. I love that you mentioned that it really matters if you can help one family, and that small changes, that's how, we build success. And then I think that my favorite thing you said, and something that it's taken me a while as a pediatrician to realize, is that, moms are really best equipped to figure out what changes they need to make and how to parent their kids. And it's our role to support them and empower them to do that. But it really it's not effective to tell people, do this, do that, do this, do that. It actually can be counterproductive. So I just love that approach that you're taking with empowering moms. So I see that we have folks from across campus in different professions, folks from the community. We've got some students from Milligan. So I just wanted to, like Julie said, open it up for any questions or comments. And you are getting a few questions in the chat.
I have a comment. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just want to make sure. I'm whispering because the baby is sleeping. But so I have experience working with the Nurse Family Partnership. We were fostering a child that was pregnant about a year ago. And initially they had come to us asking, if we wanted assistance. I was like, initially, I kind of thought, why would we need this? And we ended up signing up for the program for her. But throughout her pregnancy and then after she had the baby, this was like the biggest support because, me being the mom, telling a teen mom what to do, with, safe sleeping and all these different things. It was just good to have someone else seconding what I had to say about just parenting and also just being a support for her. So it was, the experience was just positive all around. And even now, even though the child has been placed, she's aged out of foster care and she's currently doing really well. She still has a good relationship with the nurse that we work with, and so do I with Lexi.
That was wonderful to hear. Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
Hey, Julie, this is Valerie Hooper at the College of Nursing. Great presentation. I was kind of bouncing in and out, so you may have addressed this and I missed it, but I'm curious because, we're working with PhD students. I direct the PhD nursing program. What research might y'all do y'all have going, or what research opportunities? Because I know this is a local program that's part of a larger program. And I'm just kind of curious what opportunities there might be.
So Nurse Family Partnership is based out of Colorado, and we send all of our research or all of our data to them for their main research. But we have had students from the Con and other areas come over and start their own research projects. And so we are always open to, partnering with someone and seeing what they would like to do. I know we've had a graduate student come over and do some breastfeeding research and see what our numbers look like and what I guess the difference between moms in poverty breastfeeding and just your a traditional mom would look like breastfeeding. And so we can definitely get together, Valerie, and talk and see if there's opportunities for your students as well.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Julie. Diana Moreland.
Hey.
Good to see you. Thanks for doing this. I, again, as one who receives a lot of referrals from y'all through Mom Power, cannot speak highly enough of your program. I'm curious, as we think about the needs of this region and thinking of y'all as one really important tool in the tool belt for serving these mamas. We also know that you only can serve a subset of the mamas who need in-home services. And so I'm curious what your thoughts are about other home-based programs. And I've heard some talk of expansion of McVie programs in our state. And I'm just curious if you can speak to any of that can help augment the incredible work y'all are already doing and maybe reach some mamas who don't get to you quite early enough or who aren't first-time mamas.
Yes, and so what we normally do if we do get like a third trimester referral is we do just tell them about as many programs as we can that are in the area, especially Mom Power is one of the big ones that we talk about. And we just, we look at where that mom is coming from in which county, because we serve, all of Northeast Tennessee and Cott County. And so each county has their own programs going. And so we just look at, the age of that client and the background of that client and try to put her in connection with the right program that we think would be best for them. And then of course we talked to them about CHANT, which is the health department's program that took over for Hugs. And we've got many contacts with CHANT. And so we'll try to get them connected with that person so that they can better just establish resources for that mom. But yeah, I think the more resources and the more programs that we have, the better. I mean, we've all heard it takes a village, and I say that all the time. Northeast and Nurse Family Partnership does not want to do this alone. We realize that is very important for these moms to have as many connections as they can. And so we are always excited to make new connections and to continue the connections that we already have.
So much.
Thank you.
I've seen a couple questions come through in the chat. So Kelsey wondered if Nurse Family Partnership is offered in multiple states, and Allison wondered, on average, about how many moms do you support each year?
So right now our caseload is right around 85, and we kind of bounce back and forth between 85 and about 105 because at the end of 2 years they do graduate out, and we do have referrals coming in, and so those numbers do bounce back and forth a little bit. And we do, like I said, Northeast Tennessee, which is Carter County, Sullivan County, Hawkins County, Hancock, Unicoi, Greene, Johnson, and Washington County. And then last year we also added on Cott County out of East Tennessee. And so we cover 9 counties in this area, which is pretty large. And Tennessee and Memphis was the first place that Tennessee had that had Nurse Family Partnership, and they were actually started 40 years ago in the trial studies for NFP, which is amazing to have them as a sister person with our state, and to be able to have that research that goes back so long, and have people there that have been working with them for almost that entire time. And so it's wonderful to have them. And that's all Tennessee has right now. But, we do have more money coming in on the state, and we are looking at expanding throughout the state in multiple places. And they're looking at 3 different areas across the state to expand to. And so I think that that's going to be a huge success once all that happens. Hope I answered both those questions. I'm getting a nod from Kelsey, so good.
And it does look like somebody asked for your contact information.
Yes, I put it, I was the first one in the chat, and then I responded again, I believe, to everyone. But if you don't want to go back through, no problem. It's very simple. It's my last name, Shoemaker, SHOEMAKER. J is in Julie, E is in Elizabeth, the number 1 at etsu.edu.
And like I mentioned, Katie's going to send everybody some handouts that Julie wanted to share, and we can put that contact information in that email as well. So I think that includes a brochure and then referral information. And if you would like to, I'll go ahead and add my phone number in as well, because you all can text me or call me anytime. This is my work phone number. It's 423-900-3160. And if you know somebody that's pregnant, they're welcome to call that or text that, and just let me know that they're interested in NFP, and I will get them in touch with the correct nurse for the county that they're in. Anybody else with questions or comments for Julie? I have a hand raised.
Yep. Thank you, Julie. Thanks for your presentation. And I haven't known this idea, so I really like that idea too. I'm Kwang Man at Counseling and Human Services at TSU. And as a family scholar, I'm especially interested in fathering, because I'm a father with 3 kids. So I just wondered, as a father, do you include a father in your program? Because what is that? When I look at the advertisements, the new mom, what new mom ask for these days, something like that. So I just wondered, it can be long-term stable relationships or financial support, or a perfect Mr. Guy with humors, whatever, something like that. I just wonder, do you consider any co-parenting relationships with the fatherhood, something like that? That is a great question, and I apologize I didn't put that in there, because we do get that question quite a bit. What about dad? Yeah. And we work with dad. Our client, of course, is mom and baby, but we allow mom to decide if she would like the father of the child to be present in any of the visits that we do. He is more than welcome to be there as long as mom is okay with that. Mm-hmm. And we encourage our dads to play with the kids and to interact with their children. And we have lots of teachings that go over that. We have specific teachings for dads if they would like that. So yes, we definitely want to include dads in our program. But like I said, our client is the mom. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's a great question.
Well, and certainly we have, I think it's great to recognize that fathers are important, and we want to have supports in the region for fathers as well. And we certainly have grandparents raising kids in a lot of households in the region. I think it just illustrates how we need a lot of different types of services. And I just really appreciate you, Julie, talking to us in depth about nurse-family partnership and helping us think about how we can all work together to meet families' needs in the region. And then two, highlighting research opportunities. That's definitely something we want to facilitate and encourage in our trainees as well. So there is one more question I see related to that last question from Allison. She's wondering about what local support is there for dad's parenting support. Are there any, and this could be for anyone on the call, are there any specific resources that we point to for dad's parenting support, or specifically for fathers?
Hey Karen, this is Angie Martin from Hope House. So Hope House is a pregnancy support center, family wellness center. They are housed in Kingsport, but there really are no restrictions for area families to jump in and get involved. And again, while maybe our main clientele might be the mama, it is a family wellness organization. So things are looking a little bit different right now during COVID, but pre-COVID, we did have a dads only support group. And so that is something that we are hoping down the line, we're going to be able to get that up and running again. We still do a lot of classes, everything from healthy pregnancy, preparation for childbirth, and we do transition into some parenting components, and dads are always welcome to attend those classes. The classes right now, in-person classes, are in a much smaller scale, no more than 5 participants at a time, just for spacing reasons. That there are some homework packets that the families can do. And it's a very incentive-based program as well. So participating in these classes and the various support groups earns the family points, the points they can then redeem for needed baby and maternity items. And then they're really good at Hope House also about just referring to additional family resources. So Hope House is very dad friendly.
I'm glad you spoke up, Angie. That was the first one that I was going to say. So a lot of times I think with dads, you find the resource for mom, and they have resources for dads as well. They just don't advertise that as much as they do the support for moms. But usually if you can find a support for mom, they usually do have something there for dad as well.
That's great. Thank you, Angie, for bringing that up. And unfortunately, I see that we are out of time for today, but thank you again, Julie. Thanks for everybody for joining us and for some great discussion. And I invite you all to join us for our next meeting, which will be November 10th from 12 to 1. I'm going to be facilitating a discussion about the Regional Strong Accountable Care Community Priority Initiatives for this next year with some ACC members from different departments and colleges across ETSU. So watch for that next meeting announcement coming your way soon. Thanks, everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week.